Hey everyone, Jennifer Duclair here, the Bar Exam Mentor. I ran across a video on YouTube, and I like to listen to these philosophical type things. And this one was speaking about group, or rather herd morality. Now, what exactly does that mean? Herd morality. So as I listened more deeply, it was a commentary on Nietzsche's work. And I don't know if you know who Nietzsche is, but when you start delving into the more philosophical questions of life, you may run across Nietzsche. So Nietzsche speaks about the herd morality and how it is basically meant to keep us in check, keep us going with the flow, everybody else's flow, and not make anybody else uncomfortable. It also points out how the greatest inventions, progresses, movements that moved humanity forward were accomplished by people who broke the rules. I can see that. I can definitely see how Gandhi made the British Empire very uncomfortable with his ideas and movements and words and purpose of living. But then he accomplished something really, really great, the freedom of an entire nation. And there are tons of people who made other people very, very uncomfortable. They broke the rules. I'm sure Dr. Martin Luther King did not mind his place, boy. I'm sure that a lot of people who have changed things we see now for the better were viewed as evil and corrupt influences on society back then when they were making their moves. And the things that they were changing, people saw it as, you're upsetting the apple cart. This is not for the better. What are you doing? Things were just fine the way that they were. And now you're shifting things, and now we have to find a new balance and a new normal. And that's evil. You know who it's evil to? It's evil to the ego, because your ego depends on set rules for living. Your ego is a part of you that keeps you alive, and that keeps you safe, and that keeps you fed. Now, you can easily be kept safe and fed and alive. I mean, you can learn to wield a knife, to carry a gun. The best spots for, hobo tent, setup. I mean, you can be safe and have a roof over your head and, find the best dumpsters to go diving into for food. And I mean, you can figure all that out. And that's all the ego's job is to make sure that in whatever setting that you're in, you know how to survive. Now, if you grew up in a middle class family, the ego would strive very hard to keep you from being, someone living on the street, because you don't know how to survive in that manner. Just like the person who's been living on the street all their lives would have some really, really difficult hurdles to overcome in order to be comfortable living a middle class life, because the ego doesn't know how to navigate that territory. So even good things we resist, because the ego is not discriminating between good and bad circumstances. Its mandate is to survive. So there's a part of us that is only interested in survival. And as I have so illustriously conveyed here, you can survive in a number of different types of circumstances. Many of us wouldn't deem them good circumstances, but even that is relative. It depends on who you're speaking to. So all that being said, when you break away from the herd morality, you break away from what everybody else thinks is right and wrong, and you start defining right and wrong for yourself, you will be told you are an evil person to think that you can decide right and wrong for yourself. You will be told that you have to defer to this authority. You have to defer to this written code. Who are you to decide what is right and what is wrong? You're evil. That is what you will be told. And yet, that herd morality and its design to keep you in line is holding back your forward movement and progress. It's holding you back. It's meant to make sure that you don't step on anybody else's toes. But things don't get done. Things don't change or move forward until you're willing to step out into your own calling. And your own calling may very well cause you to step on people's toes. Look at the great writings, the religious writings. I'm sure you can look into the Christian Bible and see many examples where thought leaders stepped on tons of people's toes in order to get a job done. I'm just saying. It doesn't matter what religion you ascribe to or what your spiritual practices are. You will need to be brave enough to step on people's toes, be rejected or ridiculed in order to live your truth and to fulfill your personal mission on this earth. I mean, there's a scripture verse that says something to the effect of, prophet is not respected in his own town, right? So you may come from a place, a community that assumes this is who you are and this is what you're about. Then you feel your life's calling and it's time for you to do something different. The people who grew up with you, the people who wiped your snot-nosed face, the people who saw you sneak off and skip classes in middle school or high school, those people aren't going to respect the mission that you are heading out to fulfill. They will remind you of who you were. And the people who you kissed up to in order to get a certain job position or who you strove to impress with your grades, those people also may very well come out and say, this is the path that you need to walk, stay in line. Stay in your place, basically. They won't say it in so many words, but the message essentially amounts to that. Know that it's not their fault. They themselves were not brave enough to step out into their own and to follow their calling, even if it meant breaking with a certain community or their reputation or their lifestyle. The reputation that they adopted, that they worked hard to obtain, that they had aspired to. Now they're in a place where they're called to throw that all away in order to fulfill their heart's calling. And that's not easy to do. It's not easy to do. That's what resistance is about. It will keep you from parting with your comfortable spot, especially if the world around you tells you it's a great spot to be in. So know this, that sometimes you want to step out and do things like work on yourself emotionally, mentally. You want to change your environment. You want to pursue a different line of work. Know that between the ego and the herd morality, you're going to face what we call resistance. And it's not an inconvenient little thing. Resistance is actually necessary to grow. When you're able to break through the need to follow the crowd, the need to be accepted by your group of peers, and the need to remain in a lifestyle or in a title or with a reputation that everybody else says is good, when you're able to part with this idea that you have to stay here in order to be safe, when you are finally able to pass all those hurdles, you are strong enough to take a hold of your mission and to see it through. So resistance, all those things that we just talked about that serve to keep you in your place, those things actually strengthen you to be able to fulfill your mission. Okay, so if you want to think back to biblical characters or think back to Gandhi, think back to people who have accomplished great things, they went through some heartbreaking life situations first. They were rejected, they were spat upon, they were beaten. Those things are hard. These days it happens more mentally and emotionally. People might post snide Facebook posts. People might put, shadow throwing commentary on your, on your own posts. And it happens. But those things, especially when they hurt or they kind of motivate you to backtrack and reseed into your shell, those things are your growing tools. So when you're able to get through those, you are a stronger person for it, And now you're even more prepared to accomplish your mission. Keep that in mind as you move forward, contemplating mental and emotional changes, working on yourself, building yourself up, or shifting things. Keep in mind that it's not going to be easy, and it's not supposed to be easy. And some of the things that you are facing, they have a label, they have a name, but they're still going to hurt. Just know what they are and keep moving forward. If you're looking for support in the life work that you're doing, moving forward, trying to pass the bar exam, we have a support group for that. And when you join the support group, I'm actually offering for free the definitive guide to retaking the bar exam. It is meant for people who are taking the bar exam and need to make mental and emotional shifts in order to make sure that their retake is successful. So as soon as I'll put the link in the comments under this video. As soon as you click on that link to join the group, I will make that PDF available to you right away. And you'll get to partake in the ongoing support that we have in this group. This group is not about study tactics or techniques. It's about mental and emotional development so that you can be strong enough, be the person who passes the bar, be the person who successfully begins a career as an attorney, be the person who can break with the norm or the accepted policies or what your family and friends expect of you. You can break with that when it's appropriate for you in order to pass the bar, become a successful attorney, and attain any other dreams that you have in front of you. So that's what I have for you. The link to the group will be below. Join, get access to this PDF, and get the support you need to change and to edify yourself and to reach your goals once and for all. Jennifer DeClaire here, and I will talk to you later.